And you have the sweet selection. Global African connection. And you have the sweet selection.
Yeah, the track you just heard was from the late fella Anikulapo Kuti with a track called Mr. Grammaticology. And he was singing about the so-called colonial educated classes of Africa who take pride in speaking other people's language but feel ashamed speaking their own mother tongue. Mr. Grammaticology, coming from the late fella Anikulapo Kuti.
You are listening to the Global African Connection with all your brothers.
We're still in conversation with Funsho, but in the meantime, we go over to the African people in the Caribbean, the descendants of our people who are forcefully carried beyond their shores to be enslaved, worked without being paid, raped, killed, and brutalized. They were forced to adopt their captors' belief systems, names, and culture. They were banned from speaking their own mother tongues. On the continent, civilizations were destroyed, artifacts stolen under the guise that they were idols, stolen by Christians. The loot were brought to Europe to fill their museums, while our people were forced to worship European-looking icons. Hence, the root of the inferiority complex most of our people feel today. We have no idea of the atrocities that were committed against our people who were taken out of the continent. We don't even have an idea of the things that were done to us on the continent. We don't teach these things to our children. Hence, our children don't have an idea of what has happened to us as a people and why we are in the position we are in today. We don't want our children to be annoyed with our tormentors. Hence, we try not to teach them about their past. We have been educated not to remember. This music is coming from one of those Africans, Alexander D. Great, one of our brothers from Trinidad, based in the UK, singing against having to stand in line to pay money to see the works of art that were stolen from his people in the first place. The track is called Heart of Africa.
You have the sweet selection. Global African connection. You have the sweet
National Gallery been playing its part, putting on a show of African art. Our forefathers' sweat produced what you see, and we stand in line paying money. Bring back the heart of Africa. Give back the heart which belonged to her. Give back the soul of Africa. The wealth you stole she must recover. Relight the flame of Africa. We must reclaim the diaspora. Give back the art which has gone so far. Bring back the heart of Africa. Dark continent was raped by the rest, who carried their spoils north, east, and west, in skin and in wood, in ivory and stone. The carcass is picked clean to the bone. Bring back the heart of Africa. Give back the art which belonged to her. Give back the soul of Africa. The wealth you stole she must recover. Relight the flame of Africa. We must reclaim the diaspora. Give back has gone so far. Bring back the heart of Africa. In 100 lands, the African race is represented in many a face. Most other peoples keep hold of their past. Now must be the time for we at last. Bring back the heart of Africa. Give back the art which belonged to her. Give back the soul of Africa. The wealth you stole she must recover. Relight the flame of Africa. We must reclaim the diaspora. Give back the art which has gone so far. Bring back the heart of Africa. Bring back the heart of Africa.
Bashment. Excitement. Now this is musical edutainment. Yeah. When you listen to Ayo by Dejo.
Okay, let's come back to talking about, again, it's still connected to what Fela was talking about. It's still connected to the kind of music he played, but, more specific. You talked about the good old Nigeria. What's your view on Nigeria today?
Nigeria just dey, sha. Just dey. Nigeria be like, man, we don't know, say, in get problem. So he can't dey point at in neighbor.
Say, now that one, they give him problem.
But he has to go and remove the thing in his eye first. We've taken many things for granted. But I know we're going to get there because you see, there are 100 million people in that country whose souls are tied to the land they are born. One great philosopher once said, there is this fatal impulse that keeps you to the land of your fathers. So, except we all want to die, we are going to have to change. And we're going to have to move. So I may have no problems. None whatsoever.
What kind of change do we have to adopt to make that, step forward?
Everybody open their eyes. Try and know who you are. Try and do only things that make you happy. And you will find out. Don't be accusing people when you don't know what is happening. People all over Africa are always attacking governments. Look, the latest one are attacking Mugabe. Attacking Mugabe simply because the foolish man said, note what I've said though, simply because the foolish man said that those people who took the land should give the land back. Yeah, the man is a problem to his country, but let them sort him out. If he did not say, for example, that they should take that land back, do you think these people will be shouting the way they're shouting out?
And this is it. I mean, most of the badness that they accuse him of are badness that goes way back in time. But, then, business was good with them.
Exactly.
So,
So, let them leave us alone. When we sort ourselves out, yeah, we will deal with our thieves. We will deal with those people we call Akuna. Spoiler International. Those who are spoiling us, we will know them.
When you look at, say, a country like Nigeria, the level of ignorance, especially when it comes to, very, very fundamental historical things, are very, very deep-rooted. Do you know why that is? I mean...
Yes.
You
can say I jumped the gun quickly. I say I know why. It's very simple.
I say you know why.
No, I know why. Let me refer you back to that advert again, that HMV advert. His master's voice, not be dog. And we've had dogs as leaders since.
Who only listens to their master's voice.
Yeah. One of Fela's unreleased tunes is called Country of Pain. I'm going to sing you the opening lyric. Without the melody, it goes, Na Onyibo I, our leaders, they take the sea for everybody. Now, that same I, then come they take them deceive to everybody. Deceive come plenty for country now. Simple. You have a people who come and dominate you for some time treat you like subhuman species. In the foolish constitution they have in America, they say a black man is 3 feet of a human being. And they are still allowing them to have that constitution. They told themselves that we were not human beings. That's why they could give them permission to come and take everything we had. They're not good people, though. They wiped out the Incas in less than 25 years. An army of less than 1,000 people wiped out the Incas in Mexico. Me, I'm not going to wait for Africans to be like those people.
No, but we're almost there. I mean, we've got AIDS.
But let's still be knocking. Just procreate more. So at the end of the day, we still have more people. Don't worry. Very funny idea. But
No, but it's an idea that makes a lot of sense in the sense that, if you're dying en masse, you reproduce en masse.
You have to. You have to, or else. So the people dominate, decimate us. Before they leave, they handpick a few people. And say, these guys are going to take over. But now, fundamental question. Whose eyes are those people using to rule us? Remember, the dog always behaves like his master. So you see, back to what Fela said, they are looking at life through their master's eyes. And it's their master's voice. I remember reading in a Chinua Achebe book, when the father of the protagonist in Aunties of the Savannah, or was it a man of people said, now he understands why they are sending their children to go and school in Europe. Because the first set of leaders we had, this was their world. They came here, they want to be like the people they have said are civilized. And they now come to rule us. In doing that, first of all, they severed all links between themselves and their own people. They were the first set of bastards Africa had. Their culture is no longer important to them. Even when they steal, corruption is not an African word, it's a universal word. But if a British man steals money, he'll probably go and keep it in Switzerland. He won't steal the money and come and keep in Nigeria. Where Prudent Bank in Nigeria or Guarantee Trust or Union Bank can have that money to lend to Nigerian businessman or businessmen. No. But the Nigerian, Ghanaian and the Zambian people, they will steal their money and come and put in Barclays Bank here. Millions of dollars, hard currency. Then when one European guy wants to do a business now, he goes to meet his bank manager and they lend him the money. Where's the money coming from? It's still our riches. So the leaders are still ruling us through the eyes of who? Their masters, who have never really gone. To be independent, you must go through not fighting the battle. No, it's not a battle, it's a war. It takes time. You must control your resources. Know how to exploit them. Know who your people are. Know who you are. Know your cultural values, man. We don't do all those things.
I mean, talking about culture, how in touch are we with the indigenous culture today?
There's nothing like indigenous culture in Africa. It only comes when people have problems. For example, I know in South Africa now, witchcraft is a big thing because of AIDS. So everybody is like, if you catch AIDS now, you go and meet a witch doctor. But that's not going to help you. Because most African religions, remember, they preach abstinence. They preach good morals. They are very, very painful punishments for example, adultery or fornication in African society. Let's face facts, man. A lot of the things that brought about this AIDS, we haven't really attacked. We have to face facts now. When Nigeria entered the Second Republic in 1979, there was a change in focus in television, which I know. In the 60s and 70s, we were watching European programs. In the 70s and late 70s and 80s was now American. Starsky and Hutch. The American B-movies. Films that would not get onto Hollywood. They would make them people like Danny Glover, American stars who need money. They do things and send them to Africa. Most B-movies they glamorize crime, glamorize violence, glamorize sex. Where are the B-movies sold all over the world? They have been sold in all the countries that are in trouble today.
And was that deliberate or was
It's
that
a deliberate dumping policy. Why do you go and dump? If I'm leader of a Nigerian country, for example, with what I know today, it will be criminal of me to allow them to bring B movies into Nigeria, where 14-year-old boys will watch and start thinking that all life is about is carrying a gun, shooting people, having no respect for elders, and treating women misogynically. No. Africans or black people, we used to treat women much, much better historically. In Nigeria, you know instances of like people like Madame Dosunmu. Even in present day Nigeria now, in towns like Oyo or in the hinterland, it's women that control commerce, not men.
Yeah, definitely.
Women have been known to have respect. So what are you talking about now? But now, in this day and age, you see black American boys talking, all the hoes in the house raise their hands and the women say, yeah, I'm here. I'm like, that's not my Africa. That's not my brother either. Yeah. And all these pop daddies, they should be looking to us for inspiration. Our youth are looking to them.
To them for inspiration. And they,
people who haven't got any sense, we're not looking to them for inspiration.
So it's like a story of the blind leading the blind.
They don't talk in the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is Oga King.
The Global African Connection, the hot stuff. Saban International. Say, it is wild.
This next track is called Exodus, Movement of a People. The music is coming from that great group from Senegal, Dara J. A lot of African graduates today can't tell you with any details the circumstances that brought our people to the New World. It is not the type of history that was impressed on them. They can tell you everything that they were taught about what Hitler did to European Jews. They can tell you what a Pharaoh did to the children of Israel thousands of years ago, but they cannot tell you how their people, African people, got to the New World. Talk less of the atrocities that were committed against them over the last 400 years to the present, or what our people went through at the hands of the Arabs, or what they're still going through at the hands of the Arabs. The song celebrates the common history between Africans from the continent and their descendants, those who were taken against their will to the New World to slave on Arab and European plantations and make the Arab and Europeans rich. This is Exodus, coming from the great hip-hop group from Senegal, Dara J.
Nous sommes des milliers à quitter nos pays, à la recherche de la terre promise, mais c'est ils sont des millions à quitter leur pays, à la recherche de l'Eldorado. Nous sommes des milliers à quitter nos pays, à la recherche de la terre promise, mais c'est ils sont des millions à quitter leur pays, à la recherche de l'Eldorado. Pour tous les brothermen qui sont en exode, pour toutes les sisters qui sont en exode, tous les clandestins, tous les banabana qui cherchent l'Eldorado en Americana. Exilé, faut que je bouge vers mon destin. La fortune, mon chemin, mon avenir dans les mains. Derrière moi, ma famille, ma patrie, tout ce que j'aime faire face à la vie pour un meilleur lendemain.
Plié bagot vers les pays lointains, partis par la mer, au-delà des frontières, par l'hexagone, outre-mer ou dom-tom.
Sur les routes de Babylone, Benediction.
Ils ont fait couler tant de sueur, tant de prières. Rêve exaucé, foulera avec fierté le sol natal, la terre de l'amour, la terre de l'amour. Exodus.
Pour tous les brothermen qui sont en exode, pour toutes les sisters qui sont en exode, pour tous les clandestins, pour tous les banabana qui cherchent l'Eldorado en Americana. Au revoir famille et terre, oh amis et frères, oh famille et terre, oh. Je reviendrai les poches pleines d'or, je vous ferai goûter aux saveurs de l'horizon. Au revoir famille et terre, oh amis et frères, oh famille et terre, oh. Je reviendrai les poches pleines d'or, je vous ferai goûter aux saveurs de l'horizon. Exodus.
dem nañu dem ña ngay dem bàyyi ko tefes jéggi géej ngir mën a nooti tàngeeg naqar gi samp seen xol ba mu ne mes ña ngay dem gannaaw yaakaar bokk yaakaar bàyyi ko suuf mbokk soppe ñu ngi digga daay bàyyi ko te fee yaga yes naqar lañu bëgg mu ne me yaga yes xolu doxandem ma ngi fee yaga yes bàyyi suuf ak mbokk ne me yaga yes yeneen saay xel a xol tukki yoonu démb ñu jooye jooy turi dongo ñaan ci ay bis metti jële woon na leen fa terewul fa ñu teer jàmm teeru na leen fa.
Tous les brotherman qui sont en exode, pour toutes les sisters qui sont en exode, pour tous les clandestins, pour tous les banabana qui cherchent l'Eldorado en Americana, pour tous les brotherman qui sont en exode, pour toutes les sisters qui sont en exode, pour tous les clandestins, les banabana, cherche les Dorado en Americana,
Stop. Savannah International. C'est l'idée de quoi?
If you want to experience the motherland in your own front room, tune into the Global African Connection. It brings you music from Africa.
Yeah, that was music coming from Senegal, from that great group, Dara J, with a track called Exodus, taken from their CD, Boomerang. Okay, we continue our conversation with Mr. Funsho Ogundipe.
You are listening to the Global African Connection with Ayo Badijo. He is my dad and he has a lot to say.
So how many works have you released today? When was your first release?
96.
Was this here or was that in Nigeria?
Well, I made the CDs here, but my music is always released in Nigeria, regardless where I am. The first album was called Niger Blues, 5-track EP. I made it here in 96, went back to Nigeria and released it officially. Then in 98, I did 4-track cassette called Something Day. Then I was in Nigeria. On Monday last week, the Afrobeat Chronicles came out. And you just got the first radio promo actually.
Oh, okay.
Apart from the White Label. So that's the third album. Yes, I've had 3 albums.
And have you been doing any live gigs?
Started doing live gigs in Nigeria in 97. Played different places like Polo Club. That was the first concert done after Fela died in Nigeria, 98. The Fela Remembrance Concert. I opened that show. Had people like Femi Kuti, myself, some Nigerian musicians. In the UK, we've done places like 100 Club on Oxford Street. The Africa Oye Festival in Liverpool. Which is like supposed to be like one of their good African festivals here. Played in places like Bristol, Shrewsbury. But taking the music on the road, generally, just like, you know. For me, I'm a composer, so any opportunity to like play the music, I like put my music out. It's all right for me, you know.
So, I mean, do you have a band, a regular band, or do you just use session musicians?
I use, the world has changed now. You can't even have those regular bands again, except everybody wants to start the band together. Because I'm the driving force, I use a mixture of regular session men. Guys who, like, I know, they give me like either first or second call, you know, when they have gigs. The drummer I use at times plays with Courtney Pine. His name is Robert Forger. He's a Ghanaian guy, wonderful guy. He plays with Courtney. So I guess if he's not playing with Courtney, he plays with me, you know. If he's got a conflict, he might choose Courtney when he plays with Courtney Pine. But that's life as a session man. So I basically just like session men, different people, you know, trying to build like my own roster of guys. So when Mr. A doesn't come, Mr. B plays, that kind of thing, you know.
Afrobeat, Fela eventually called it African classical music, so I probably rather prefer to call it that. African classical music, as defined by Fela Kuti, had all sorts of different arrangements. Is there any particular techniques that you use? I mean, are you the only one that takes solo on your tracks, or do you share solos with other people? Fact, I mean, how do you arrange your music?
Fact, I've got a new name now in my band. They call me the anti-soloist. because I now frown on people taking long, meaningless solos. You see, this music is not virtuosic. This music hasn't yet got to a level where like American jazz now they're in problem, where you've got people who can compose but they will play to death on saxophone, everything you want, but they haven't got soul. Afrobeat is not like that. Afrobeat is music by excellence. It's real music. You connect to that thing. There are techniques in Afrobeat that, for example, I use heterophony at times where like we're all playing the same melody line, 4 people. But then the last time I play, I tell my tenor saxophone player to play. We're all playing the same line, but he changes. As I was trying to tell Anukra, then it was about Ewo playing the line and playing differently. It is a valid technique in Africa. It's called heterophony. Instead of everybody playing the same unison line, you start playing different lines, but with the same melodic rhythm. So it's the same rhythm, but the melody might be different. At times I use hocketing, which is a popular technique in West Africa when you hocket, you know.
And what technique is that?
Hocketing.
How does that work?
It's a kind of vocal tag, like a tag, you know, at the end, like a refrain kind of thing. Again, one of the reasons why Afrobeat, African classical music, really gained importance, especially in the outside world, is because it shares a lot of characteristics with funk and jazz. Funk, like the Americans call it, is purely West African percussion music. Only that as time goes on, to make it simple, they decide to like put the kick on one and the snare on 2. But I can play the same funk Yoruba style, Yoruba Boys Club on my new album. We're playing the same 4 beats. We're stressing the same 4 beats, but we're now using different parts of the instruments to make those things come out, you know? So everything depends on, there are different techniques for arranging, different. What I would just say is that I use techniques I've learned from listening to Fela, listening to Miles, listening to Duke Ellington. I use a lot of what I call Ellingtonian modulations. Like on some of my tunes, if I start in like a key, I might go to like, if I start in a minor key, I might go to like a major which is distant to it, but I still make it work. Then I use rhythmic techniques. I don't play funk drums, no. I compose drums for each track. So I try to like get Yoruba traditional rhythms. There's a book by a guy called Samuel Akabot called Foundations of Nigerian Traditional Music, which has got Yoruba, Ibibio, Hausa rhythms. And I try and take these rhythms and now like fit bass lines to them, fit like chord sequences. My chord sequences are basically from jazz, because these guys have done all the work. You can just continue, you know, and they are black men anyway, so
that's the whole taken from the family.
I take all the altered chords from jazz people like Thelonious Monk, like Miles Davis. But it's just a mix. It's like the Yoruba concept of asekpo, really, or what the people in New Orleans call gumbo. You just mix. So that's it. So no hard and fast rules. Music is music. Any technique, Afrobeat is going to be like a cannibal. We will take from anybody, man. Because jazz took from anybody. So we're going to be cannibalistic. We'll cannibalize any musical form we like. As long as it fits into the music that's being played. I was listening to a guy called Astor Piazzolla. He's from Argentina. He plays tango. I like his music, man. If I see anything I like, I'm going to use it. Don't care. It's the technique. It's not the melody, it's the technique.
All right, we want to listen to something again from your album. I mean, which track would you want us to listen to this time?
Beklo Gardens, otherwise known as Afro Funky Cool.
Wow. You know, one thing I like about your music is actually the titles. Afro Funky Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's great.
Thanks.
Why is it called that, actually?
When I first moved here, I lived in a place in Shepherd's Bush called Beklo Gardens. Council estate. Inner city, poverty, that kind of thing, crime. When I was moving, the people were like, don't go here, it's a lot of crime, whatever. Yeah, I know. But there are lots of black people too. I dig black people, man. I dig the women. I love their asses. I dig women. I just dig their shape. I dig everything about them. You know? Beklo Garden was a place where, like, a council flat where, like, you know, you see a lot of immigrants. On the floor where I was staying, the people next to me were either Nigerians or from the Caribbean, you know? And I remember, like, one of my favorite albums is, like, TLC. You know, this crazy, sexy, cool. I like concepts like that, because see, we are not 3 feet of a human being. No, we are human beings. We've got an acute and sharp intelligence, and we've got our own mores, our own cultural values, and our own allusions. For example, a friend of mine, he wants to form a band. I said, use Area F for the band. Cardi somewhere. He wants to forming some. I said, use Area F. Why Area F? I said, Area F is like the police station in Lagos, Ikea police station. It's called Area F. That's one of the most notorious prisons in Nigeria. Fella went to prison. He said his house is now Kalakuta because that's the place they locked him up in Kirikiri, the Kalakuta cell. So, like rock musicians, to we too are intelligent. We don't have to be direct. We can allude to something. I can write a tune and allude to another circumstance with the title. So Beklo Gardens is just like, it's a council estate, but on my floor, I was always Africa, it was always funky, and it was always cool.
Wow, okay, we're gonna listen to Beklo Gardens.
Nice one, sir.
You play some wicked tunes.
Yeah, the music you just heard was again from Funsho Ogundipe's CD, Afrobeat Chronicles, and the track was called Beklo Gardens. Yeah, serious CD, and I recommend you get it. And the track is called Beklo Gardens. These days, you see a lot of our youths hanging out on housing estates with nothing to do. They have neither trade nor training. How and when did it go wrong? For a long time now, African parents have not been preparing the future for their children. They leave it to some mystical powers and the children end up going astray. Anyway, this time we're going over to the African people in America, music coming from the USA. Just like our people from the Caribbean, their descendants too were stolen from Africa. brought to the USA, a British colony, via the Caribbean. This was not the first time that Africans came to the American continent, though. There are a lot of evidence that suggests that Africans were already on the American continent before Columbus claimed he discovered it. But this is not a topic for today. We will look into that in another program. This track, called African King, is from a fantastic album from the African-American artist Imam Rashidi.
Thousands of years ago, there stood a great African warrior king, Ra Ursa Mayat Ra, Semtepid Ra, Remetsu Mariaman. This majestic ruler who reigned for over 60 years. A legendary master builder and historical revealer, cunning and strong, corrector of both right and wrong. As he walked the streets of Kemet, the African people would cheer. And he stood one day at the Giza Plateau, marveling at Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaure. He recalled the pyramids that we'd built, 48 stories high, 755 feet wide, 2,003,000 stones, some stones weighing over 3,000 tons in the inner casing. This great warrior king marveled at the system of mathematics that he knew his people had created. And with a great ambience, he stood at the base, and he walked back down the corridor that he would lay the rest tonight. His queen joined him, but in the middle of the night, he woke up in a cold sweat from a nightmare. His queen looked at him, but she'd never seen him this way before, so she never said a word. He laid down again, and in the middle of the night, he awoke screaming at the top of his lungs. His queen still didn't trouble him, but the next morning as Ra rose, as he gazed into the sun, she said, "My king, last night you were troubled. What was it that bothered you?" And he slowly and methodically looked up into her eyes and he said, "Last night I had a dream, and I saw things that I'd never seen. I saw black men killing one another. I saw black children disrespecting their mothers. I saw black armies gone down in defeat. I saw black babies saying things even I wouldn't repeat. I saw the pyramid builders, once so wealthy and once so wise, now smoking crack and committing suicide. I saw an African queen being called a bitch. I saw an African king wallowing in the ditch. I saw black people who once loved one another become separated because of class, status, and color. I saw ministers of God lying to people who believe just to obtain a dollar is what they hope to achieve. But then things got so bad and it made me so sad until I screamed to God like I never had, and I cried, send them a message and make it loud and clear. Don't give up now because freedom is too near. You've been too black, too bold, too whole, too cold, too strong, too long to allow this nonsense to continue on. You gave sight to the blind when others could not see. You gave refuge to those who were lost and allowed them to be. You built pyramids when others lived in caves. You gave the world a year with 365 and a fourth days. You gave hope to the shameless and names to the nameless. But what will you do now that you're not so famous? Stop sacrificing your dreams for the illusion of security. Stop acting like a child and obtain your maturity. Stop looking to others for what you can do for yourself. Dust off your ambition and take it off the shelf. Start living your life and stop waiting on death. Stop waiting on time, for there is no time left. For our God only helps those who will help themselves. Peace out.
You are listening to the Global African Connection with Ayo Banijo. He is my dad and he has a lot to say.
Excitement. Now this is musical entertainment. Yeah. When you listen to Ayo Banijo.
Imam Rashid is singing about a good ruler's lament on how his people have drifted backwards. Anyway, let's go over to hear more from Mr. Funsho Ogundipe.
Listen to the Global African Connection with Ayo Badejo, playing you the best of global African music, views and news.
One thing we normally do on this program when we interview people is to get a word of advice for the African nation as a whole. I mean, what word of advice would you have for our people?
There is no African nation. That is under figment of imagination.
Okay. Should I say the African nation in the making then?
I don't even know if it's going to be called Africa itself at the end. Do you know?
No, actually, because that's
I don't know, because Africa is not the name that we chose for it.
No.
I can only thank my God that my father did not give me Oyibo name. That is, for that one, I'm grateful to myself, to everybody who has been in my family, the bloodline, that they haven't given me. I don't know what I'll be doing today if my name was Andrew or something. So my name is Funsho Ogundipe, pure, simple. To any young person, just be themselves and follow their heart. And they should know that the truth never lies. The truth. You see, I said the truth never lies. But the lie can tell the truth.
The truth never lies.
It never lies.
But the lie can tell the truth.
Yes. You see, there are many things that your conscience will tell you is bad. As a young guy, wherever you are. We are not in this world just to eat, drink, shit and piss, fuck and do all that. Everybody does that. Even dogs do. In fact, to me, it seems they even enjoy themselves more now than some human beings. Each man is an island, but he doesn't know. We should stop allowing these people to deceive us. I will talk about two sayings now. One, no man is an island. That one makes me laugh. A man is an island, though. The second one that makes me laugh is that curiosity killed the cat. It never killed Oyinbo's cat. They are very curious. They go everywhere in the world. But we learn those things. Don't be curious. Just shut up and sit down there. Our young people should be curious. They should travel. Not even to Europe. Go across that continent you are part of self. Go and see. Then don't go and see like a slave. Don't behave like your forefathers are behaving when these people came. Go and behave like those people too. Look at that continent as if it belongs to you. It's your holiday resort, man. One of my best holidays was leaving Nigeria and going to Benin Republic to go and just relax for 3 weeks. Just relax. 3 weeks. Stay in a hotel, go to Jonke, Red Light District, they just enjoy myself. Just go. Go to like where they were doing voodoo. Houses where like you just see just snakes around. You see the power of Africa. Yes. We want to go on holidays. When I don't care where you get your money from. I'm not a preacher now. Just put your money where your mouth is. That's your continent. Don't be doing all this one of coming to London and putting your money here and fuck that shit, Then let's be banging ourselves. Let's intermarry. Let's be doing all. Let's just get. We're really.
No, actually, that's a very interesting concept. When you say intermarry, you mean like nation intermarry, like Yoruba marry Igbo, Igbo marry Zulu, Zulu marry. Yeah, because someone brought up that concept.
It's very good.
That is how Africans actually resolved wars in the past.
I'll give you an example. The Yoruba kings of Benin, Dahomey, people like Gezo, their daughters, go and check the history. The daughters were always married to like the king of Oyo, the king of Ijebu. Yeah, that's how Africans were sorting out. Because whether we like it or not, we are tribalistic. We should stop deceiving ourselves. We are tribalistic. I'm a Yoruba man. I will feel that my Yoruba food is better than Igbo food any day until proved otherwise. These Europeans are looking at that are saying they are tribalistic as well. When you go, why is it that French people say that their restaurants are the best with their nose always up? Their fame is the best. That's tribalism. Yes. But they're not killing themselves with cutlass and match because they're educated. The tribalism has not taken an educated form. The battle is being fought culturally, not physically anymore. if we accept that we are tribalist, then those marriages will help us. Because if for example, the man in Burkina Faso sends his wife, his child, to go and marry the king of Mali, they won't be fighting.
No.
There's even actually a president in Africa now. Omar Bongo's daughter is the wife of Denis Sassou Nguesso, Gabon and Congo Brazzaville. So when there was trouble about 5 years ago, because Nguesso Denis Sassou was the former president, he left and he came back with rebels to take over the country. Gabon was just looking because why? Their Oga's daughter is married to this man's
people.
It's married to the head of the Congo Brazzaville guys. We should be doing all that. We should be doing that. We should be enjoying ourselves. We should just enjoy. We should take the most simple things in life. Important. What are the most simple things? Eating, drinking, sex, being creative. What else do you want? We haven't even done those things where we are chasing money and chasing. I'm not an imbecile. Let me quote you Aikoyama. He said he's not an imbecile to believe that somebody is going to come and save him from up there in the sky. That thing is going to come from here now.
I mean, I suppose that's why, even in the Yoruba traditions, you didn't worship Eledumare in the sky. You worshipped your Ori, which was your spiritual connection with Eledumare. So, when something is wrong with you, don't go and look in the sky. You run into your little...
The problem is with you, dear. The problem is with you, dear. We're falling victim to all kinds of what I call mago teaching. They've turned our head upside down. But that's to be expected. So the only thing that is of importance to me is the role of women in all this mess. They are the ones who are actually going to sort out Africa's problem. They're women, not the men.
No, but they're the ones who are buying human hair, artificial nails.
Who allows them to?
They force themselves to. If you don't give them money to do that, they'll probably fight and leave you.
Leave them then. Is it by force? If woman not see waiting you get, she go fit bomb picking. Like this woman I know in Nigeria, Therese Nweke. She's in her 50s, 60s. She's from the Caribbean. She's married to a Nigerian. She said to me that I should think of one important thing. Women are the key. They are the ones who look after the children. They are the first contact between the child and outside society, not even the dad, who in most instances is too busy running around chasing money or whatever. If a child has a mother who doesn't even read, who doesn't have access to things of culture, that child is not going to be cultural. Except maybe there's a strong father figure that the child can gravitate towards. Even in Africa, most things are matrilineal, not patrilineal.
Yeah.
We tend to gravitate towards our mother's relatives, towards our mother's friends. Let's face facts. So women are the key. So if we know that those women are buying fake hair, then let us go and push forward the women that are not doing that. Let those women run things for us. Those women should be the ones that will look after our children. You see, when we talk about, they say, look before you leap. Funny. African men, we bought into this ideal. They think the women must be fine. Women in Africa were not married for beauty alone. Think. The people used to have concubines for that one. We are not like these people now who don't have sense. We used to have, when it's a matter of pay, you just like to sleep with you, man. That one is good for concubinage. Keep her somewhere, man. The ones that are going to raise the children and do the whole business, they have to be deep, spiritually strong people. Women who know what life is all about, who know how to support their men, who don't take. Some women in this world, what they do forever and ever, you will be giving them, they will be taking without saying thank you. They think sleeping with you is thank you enough. What of the pleasure you are giving them? It's two-way traffic now. But what of those that are going to be there to push the man forward and to make this continent move? It boils down to all the brainwashing. They've been told that, women's lead. They forget that women here, before the other women sleep, they suffer. Oh,
without a doubt, man.
Bastard, Simolara. Yeah. Women in Africa were not. The women in Africa never suffered like these people.
No, not at all.
They were always, especially even Yoruba, they were always held in position of respect. Why you have terms like Iyalaje? This is not a Judeo something idea where like women have no power.
Even in a polygamous setting, you have Iyale, which is the woman of the house, the head of the house.
Controls the granaries, controls where the food is, controls everything. Yeah. So all these things are known. It's just like I said, everything. Don't worry, everything will sort itself out.
So when is your next gig?
I don't know yet, because I just wait. My last gig was Africa Center, though. That one I invited you to.
I couldn't make it because I was doing the program then. I mean, how did people respond to that?
Okay, I sent you a few of the interview and comments. Yeah. People like it because, again, because I had recorded the tunes before the day, we ended up playing entirely new tunes. Maybe just about one or two from this album. So I guess it shocks people because they're always wondering, like, how do you do it when like you can play new tunes, But I'm like, you see, that's what I do 100%. I don't do contracts. I don't work. I'm just a composer. That is all. So that means that once I'm at home and I'm by my piano, because I play every day, let's just do the music, that's all,
No, it's been great talking to you, and definitely
very great as well.
Get you back to speak to. I wish you luck in everything you get up to.
I wish you all the best with your program. Also, in your search for what it is that will make us better.
No, thank you.
I hope you get it, and I hope that it doesn't take people, especially black people, African people, as long as it took people like you and I to find ourselves before they know.
Yes, definitely a very good prayer.
It's a good prayer. I'm not afraid though, because I know that living in this Europe has been good for me for the past 2 years. I realize that we don't need 1 million intelligent people. We need just a few in the right places, and they will push everybody together.
Yeah.
And so it's for us to go and fight to occupy those spaces.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you very much. To close the interview, I'm definitely going to play what is my favorite track on your album. That's the Revenge of the Flying Monkeys.
Yeah.
Each time I look at that track, it's like, wow, Revenge of the Flying Monkey. What's that all about?
2 things, though. I'm going to be very brutally honest with you. 2 things. I like Lee Scratch Perry. His spaghetti westerns, all them Return of Django, The Upsetters, Mad Cow Skank. Then I like watching Chinese films. Snake in a Monkey Shadow, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So I've been playing around with titles like that, though. But for this one, it is both wanting to evoke the feeling of the movies we were watching in Lagos as children. Because watching a lot of Asia had a strong hold on us before America came.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Indian films like Dharmendra, Sholay.
Oh, I remember when Sholay came out, so many of my seniors were expelled.
Yeah, because they jump over the fence to go and watch. It's the same thing, Sholay, Dharmendra, Amtabakan, then all them Chinese films. But in Nigeria, there's this saying, when monkey they walk, baboon they chop. One day I was almost in a trance. I was thinking to myself, spiritually, how can the monkey ever break the hegemony of the baboon? It can't happen as long as the monkey is on the same level with the baboon. Because baboon is big and is a bully. So, if the baboon backs the monkey into a corner and wants to beat the monkey because monkey doesn't want to walk again, the monkey has to fly. So I was in a trance seeing this thing, that if the monkey at that point in time flies, the flight that the monkey has evolved to doing will give the monkey power over the baboon for life. So that is now the revenge. Because baboon will always forever just be walking in the bush, looking for another unfortunate monkey to beat, to do the work for him. But if the monkeys now fly, it's no longer monkey they walk, baboon they shop now. It's now monkey they fly, baboon is hungry.
Deep.
So if every black man thinks about that parable, learn how to fly. There's a book my dad gave me as a kid. It's called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It's about trying to achieve excellence in everything you do in your life. Yeah. So if the monkeys try and achieve excellence, they won't have time for the baboons. That's the revenge. You can fly. You will leave the forest where you are, you will go. Man was in the jungle before he saw the light and left the animals alone. So if baboon is beating us so that we can be walking and baboon is sitting down chopping, let us fly. We fly, then the baboon is going to be there. Let them be looking for other animals, but not the monkey anymore. If they like, let them go and take the dog to do their dirty work for them. We don't care. But it's not the monkey. And you know that they were calling us monkeys before.
Yeah.
So that's the revenge of the flying monkey.
Yeah, Mr. Funsho, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you very much.
We're going to fly now with a very fantastic track.
I'm going to go and see Anikula and try and find out what is happening over there.
Yeah, I think we better do that.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Break the chains that hold your mind.